Welcome to Anime Breakouts. A young man Otasaka Yu who narrates his ability to possess someone else's body for 5 seconds at a time while he is in possession of someone else's own body will be in a state of sleep. You would possess the body of people he doesn't like and make them fight each other. He even uses the power to possess the brilliant students in his class during exams, so he can get perfect scores in order to gain admission into high school. You compiled a list of brilliant students seeking admission into the school of his choice and sat with them during the examination. Once the results are out, Yu comes out with the best and perfect score out of all the students that applied. When he is called to the podium to address his fellow freshmen, the students cannot but notice how handsome Yu is. They all compliment his beauty and his smartness. Little do they know that he is a cheat. Yu starts receiving various calls and texts from ladies who desire him. Yu always finds a way to send them away because the lady of his choice Yumi hasn't approached him yet. Yumi is the most popular freshman, and this has made Yu develop interest in her. One day Yu possesses a truck driver and directs the truck toward Yumi, but Yu quickly sweeps in and saves Yumi. With this Yu sealed his spot as Yumi's savior and someone she can be with. Everything is going according to plan and Yumi invites Yu out on a pancake date. After his first date with Yumi, Yu receives a text from her that she would like them to go out again. This excites Yu and he doesn't know when he lets out a hysterical laugh in the class. Just then Yu is invited to the student council office. He gets to the office and the student council president Amura presents Yu with an exact copy of his entrance examination papers. Yu is under the suspicion of cheating and he needs to answer the questions again. He has to get at least 90% of the answers, or he will consider guilty of cheating. Yu initially refuses to accept the test, but he immediately reconsiders when he is told that he will be expelled if he doesn't take the exam. Yu sits down for the exam. He believes that Amura is holding the answers to the questions and decides to possess him. To his greatest surprise, Amura is actually viewing a magazine that contains adult content. Yu is furious and he tears the magazine into pieces. Amura regains himself, and he is shocked to see the magazine he was holding in tiny pieces. Suddenly a girl that has been stalking and monitoring Yu for some time appears beside him. She reveals that her name is Tamori now and she is also a student council president, but from another school. Now holds her camera to Yu's eyes and lets him know that she is aware of his powers. Yu gets angry when he realizes that now already has detailed information about him. He runs out of the office and bumps into a boy in black. He keeps running, but realizes that the boy is following him. Yu is still running when the boy suddenly appears behind him at great speed and whisks him off to a field. The boy reveals that his own power is called breakneck movement and it gives him the ability to move at high speed. However, he doesn't know how to stop easily and he has landed in the hospital several times because of this. Now arrives to tell Yu that he will be transferred to their school, Star Ocean Academy. It is said that the powers they have only last for some time and it leaves them at some point. Now wants Yu to attend their school before his powers disappear. They already have the approval of Yu's uncle, who is also his guardian. Yu tries to hit now, but she disappears right in front of him, and before Yu could realize what was going on, several blows have already landed on him. Turns out that Nao's power is invincibility. However, she can only make herself invincible to one person of her choice. Yu settles down when he has been humbled by Nao and is informed that he will be joining the school student council so that his power would be used to catch other powered individuals like himself who usually abuse their power. Later that day Yu arrives home to hear from his younger sister Ayumi that she has also been granted a scholarship to Star Ocean Academy Middle School. Ayumi makes Yu's favorite childhood dish, omelette rice, for dinner. Yu has already told Ayumi several times that his childhood favorite dish is different from what he likes. Now he takes a bite from the rice and the taste sends him to paradise. During his conversation with his sister, we get to know that their mother left them after she divorced their father. The duo was pushed over to their uncle after their mother left. Before going to sleep, Ayumi uses her telescope to look into space just like she does every night. The following day the duo resumed to their new dormitory. It is revealed that Yumi already broke up with Yu earlier on because the distance between the two schools is massive. Shortly afterward, the speedster Takaju and Nao come to visit the siblings in their dormitory to help them sort out their belongings when going to school. The next day Yu's sister packs a lunch of omelette rice for him again. Upon getting to school, Yu asks if everyone attending the school has superpowers, but Nao says no. However, most of the students attending The school have a high chance of developing powers later. Turns out that there is an organization that is always on the hunt for superhumans. They usually carry out inhumane experiments on them. Now knows this because her brother fell victim to it. This is the reason now wants to find every superhuman and bring them to the school before the organization finds them. He doesn't want to join the student council, but he reconsiders when he learns that each council member gets paid later on. You gets to his class to find out that Nao and Takaju are both in his class. He is surprised by this and asks Takaju if the school permits year 1 student to be the council president. Takaju informs you that it is allowed as long as the president is ready to shoulder the responsibilities given to him or her. During lunch, Takaju runs to the cafeteria to get lunch for them. He successfully gets the food, but he is wounded in the process. Takaju doesn't seem to be feeling any pain from the injuries he sustained. Yu is even surprised that Takaju is still standing with the amount of blood coming out of his head. Shortly afterward, Nao and Takaju go to the council office. A guy with water dripping from his body enters the office. Takaju says the guy is the collaborator who helps them to locate people with powers. The collaborator points at a spot on the map and says the person has psychotic photography. It is time for you and his counterparts to find this person before anyone else gets to him. The trio soon arrives at the school where their target is attending. Now starts to gather intel about any unusual occurrence among the students they find a probable target, and now tasks you with possessing the boy so that they can search his bag. The boy tries to run away, but you possesses him and makes him drop his bag. Now searches the bag and finds some bad photographs of female students. The boy quickly reveals that he is not responsible for taking the pictures. He actually bought the pictures from someone else. The boy tells the team that he got the photographs from Oda. The team soon finds Oda, who turns out to also be the captain of the archery team. Oda reveals that he needs the money and that's the reason he takes unclean pictures of girls and sells them. Now warns him about his actions and the consequences they might bring. He is also asked to join the academy to avoid ending up as a lab rat. When returning home, Now tells you that he is free to follow her to see his brother the next day. The following day, you and Now get on a train to see Nao's brother. During their journey, Now can't stop eating. She is just buying everything she sees. She then narrates to you how her brother was captured some time ago. Some people told their mother that they wanted to give Nao and her brother Ni a scholarship to attend their school. Nao and Ni had no interest in going, but their mother begged them to. Upon getting to the school, Nao was separated from her brother. She didn't get to see her brother for a long time. Anytime she wants to go and see her brother, her friends would stop her. Meanwhile, her brother was being subjected to inhumane experiments. Her brother's power could make the air vibrate at will, and these people believe that they can channel it into a signal and communication jammer. A year later, Now got to see her brother, but he was no longer the brother she once knew. Her brother couldn't even recognize her again. It turns out that the friends that have been stopping her were actually sent by the scientists to keep an eye on her. Now was also examined every day to confirm if she has powers. There is a high chance that one will have power once their siblings do. Soon afterward, Now managed to escape from the school. That was when she met the person that helped her. Now couldn't reveal the person that helped her because they have gotten to their stop already. They enter a big facility and Now tells the receptionist that she is there to see her brother. You and Now get to Nate's room to find him tearing the sheets. Now doesn't feel scared of how her brother is acting, and she only tries to calm him. A nurse later comes in to attend to Ni. They put Ni in a wheelchair and take him outside to see the evening view. Now reveals that the person that helped was also the person that provided the facility for his brother. Yu hopes that Ni's condition will have a cure one day. When Yu returns home, he starts to think about how Ayumi would be devastated just like Now if he ever gets caught up next to Kaju. Uses his ability to get them the best curry delicacy around. He was still munching down on the food when he receives a call from Now that they should come to the office. The collaborator soon joins them in the office also, and Takaju explains that the collaborator usually soaks himself in water because he can't use his power unless he is soaked in water. The collaborator gives them the location of their next target. The intended target is said to have 2 powers. Channeling allows her to create a connection with the dead, and pyrokinesis. This comes as a surprise because one is supposed to have just 1 power. They traced the last known location to an alley. Now figures out that the target is being chased by someone and they need to find him or her quickly. They get to the other side of the alley and a woman tells them that she saw someone chasing the popular idol star Yusa. They immediately realize that the person they are looking for is Yusuf. Takaju hears this and starts to go crazy. Turns out That he's a big fan of Yusa. He knows everything there is to know about someone. This is how big of a fan Takaju is. As the team deliberates on what to do next, now senses someone watching them. The team immediately chases after this unknown person and Takaju tackles him to the wall. He is severely wounded and now threatens not to call an ambulance for him if he doesn't reveal who he is working for. Apparently he is working for Tao TV, but he doesn't know the reason why Yusa is being targeted. An ambulance soon arrives to take away the crook. The team gets approached by a red-haired boy. He demands to know why they are looking for Yusa. Now lets him know that the team is the only one that can save Yusa from whoever is after her. The red-haired guy volunteers to take the team to where Yusa is. He already warns them beforehand that USA has a mixed personality and they should be careful what they say. They enter a building and lo and behold, Yusa is in the room. Takacho loses his senses when he sees Yusa and has to be controlled by now. The red-haired guy calls Yusa by another name, Misa. Now ask the red-haired guy who Misa is. He says Misa is Yusu's elder sister who died in an accident a year ago. Just then Yusuf stands up and suddenly gets aggressive. It turns out that Misa just took over Yusu's body. Misa has pyrokinesis while Yusa is able to channel the ghost. Yusu will be in a state of sleep whenever Misa takes over. This is the reason people believe she has two powers. It is also worth noting that Yusa isn't aware that her sister often takes over her body. Misa's friends then reveal that USA is being targeted because she read the message of a big TV producer. The messages contain shady deals the man is doing. Now decides to make a plan for the TV producer. Yusu tells the man that she is ready to return his phone and they should meet at a certain location. Upon getting to the location, Takaju and Yu pretends as bodyguards and displace the original bodyguards. Yusa also turns up to the event as Misa. She pretends to be attacking the bodyguards with fire and this scares the TV producer. Misa gives him his phone and warns him not to come after Yusa again. After that now invites Yusa to their school. Turns out that Sho had always had feelings for Misa but he never got to tell her. Now tells him that once Yusu's power goes Misa will be gone for good too. Should need to summon courage and talk to Misa when he still can. Misa's personality takes over so she can hear what Sho has to say. Sho confesses his love to Misa and Misa urges him to forget about her and start living as a new person. Sho also blames himself for Misa's death because they were both on the same bike when the accident happened, but Sho survived while Misa died. Misa lets him know that what happened wasn't his fault and he should take it out on himself. With this Misa says goodbye to Sho and the rest of her friends. Later that night Yu gets back home and Ayumi scolds him for being late. Ayumi watches on TV that Yusa is being admitted into the academy and this excites her. Turns out that Ayumi is useless fan. Also before going to school the next day Ayumi makes French toast for breakfast. To make matters worse Ayumi still adds the family pizza sauce to it. She literally adds the pizza sauce to all the food she makes because the sauce is counted as Otasaka's secret ingredient. Yu gets to school and he can't believe how crazy people are going because of Yusa. The worst of them all is Takaju. He doesn't even have the capacity to restrain himself when it comes to Yusa. USA is also a member of the council now so she joins them in the office when she is informed that the collaborator is coming. The collaborator points to a spot on the map and reveals that the target's power is telekinesis. After the collaborator left now reveals that she has actually been suspecting the target for some time now. The target is a high school boy who is very good at baseball. She plays one of the video clips she has of the boy. When examined carefully they find out that he uses his power to make his throw better. Basically he is poor at the game but his power has made him better. Now comments on the urgency to stop him before the qualifiers. Yu complains of leaving school during learning hours but now assures him that his grades will be fine as long as he is on the student council. They go to the target school to find him. The target Arifumi is on the field practicing. When Nao and her team arrive he is surprised to see a student council from another school approaching him. Nao reveals that they are aware of his powers. She warns him that the powers would have left him before he turned pro. Since the power leaves them once they are out of puberty it means Arifumi's career will go down the drain with it. Also it is advisable that he stops using the power now and if possible he should withdraw from the team. Arifumi is obstinate so Nao suggests that they settle it With a baseball game, if now and his team win, Arifumi will do whatever they want, but if Arifumi and his team win, now gets to stay away forever. The match is to be played at the Star Ocean Academy baseball court. Up next, Arifumi arrives at the court with his team. Moments later the game starts and Arifumi is getting the upper hand now, then tells you to possess their batters and make them lose their mark. They do this to close the points, but Arifumi and his team are still destined to win the match. Misa and Takaju both put in their best to close down the points. Misa manages to steal the lead with a narrow home catch. Arifumi is devastated that now and her team won the match. Now tells Arifumi about her condition. Arifumi is to restrain from using his powers henceforth. Arifumi reveals that he is just an average pitcher, but his catcher Takato is on another level. Takato is his friend and everything he is doing is to push Takato forward. He is not even using the power for himself. Now advises him to support Takato, and she is sure that he will make it to high ranks. Arifumi would even be proud to say Takato is his friend later in the future. Arifumi thanks her and leaves. Later that day Yu gets back home and his sister serves him crew stew, but she has added the pizza sauce again. Up next, now runs into a lynch mob in school. The mob hits her severely, but she decides not to retaliate. Yu also watches from a distance, but he chose not to interfere because now seem to want what they are doing to her. After that, Yu and now go to the council office to meet with their collaborator. He points to the map and says their next target has the power of levitation. Now reveals that the target is holed up in a mountain. There have been reported sightings of a man flying in the area. Now suggests that they visit the supermarket before embarking on the journey to the mountain. They get to the supermarket and now buys lots of corn and meat that she in to make a barbecue with. Shortly afterward, they arrive at the location and now tells the boys to carry the tents materials while the girls carry the food. This is when it dawns on the boys that they are going to be sleeping overnight. Now cannot believe how dumb the duo is. They are there to stay till the target shows his face. They get to the top of the mountain where a picture of the target was taken as they start to set up camp. Now warns you at the last minute that there is a well around. You almost falls into the well and Noah reveals that she wanted you to fall into it. Yu is shocked that now is ready to let him die just so she can laugh. After setting up camp, Yu calls his sister that he won't be coming home that day because he is on a trip with the council. Misa sets up a fire for the team to grill the corn they bought. After this, she gives Yusa back control of her body so she can enjoy the sweet taste of grilled corn. They also grill meat and sausages that night. Yu finds now sitting alone in the woods and listening to music. She reveals that the music she is listening to is from the band Jeaned, which her brother loves. You listen to the new music and he also enjoys it so much. Now decides to give you her music player so he can keep listening to music with it before sleeping. The team makes a shift on who to stand watch. The girls are to be on the first shift while the boys take over and watch over till the next morning. Yu puts earphones in his ears to listen to Shin band music. As he sleeps, he sees the image of someone that looks familiar in his dream. He doesn't know who the person is, so he just decided to take it off his mind for the meantime. The following day the team continues having fun. They catch fish in the river, grill them and eat them. Now makes a hot bath for the girls only while the boys go to the cold river to wash themselves. As the boys complain of cold, the girls are busy enjoying a warm bath while washing their body. Yu realizes that Takaju is actually ripped. Even with that, he still wears a designed armor under his cloth to protect him because of his uncontrollable speed. Takaju advises Yu to get strong too because he will never know when he will need it. That night Yu complains that they are already staying long on the mountain, but now cuts in and says no one is leaving until their target reveals himself. The next morning the team resumes their usual routine of grilling corn. Just then and the target appears from the woods and threatens to call the police if they don't leave. Now lets him know that they are aware of his power and that if he should call the police he will be arrested. Also, in addition, the land they are standing on is private property. The target looks surprised by what Now is saying and protests that he doesn't have any superpower. Now tricks him into coming closer and he accidentally falls into the well. The boy is forced to use his power to fly out of the well and now is able to get a good shot. The boy has been on the mountain and practicing his flying. He's holed up there and doesn't want anyone to disturb his practice. This is the reason he is forced to show his face because he hasn't been able to practice The boy steals the camera from Now and starts to fly away, but Yu possesses him and makes him fall to the ground with minor injuries. The camera is okay by the way because it got caught in tree branches. Now tells the boy about the scientists who are looking to experiment on superhumans. She advises the boy to stop using his powers before they find him. The team is happy that they managed to complete their mission without any casualties. Yu makes it back home and his sister has been waiting for him ever since to welcome him. Ayumi makes a noodle dish. She didn't add the pizza sauce to. Yu eats the food and enjoys it. He is more happy that the pizza sauce is not added to the food. As they eat, Ayumi starts sneezing and Yu concludes that she has contracted a cold. Ayumi tells his brother a boy asked her out in school but she turned him down. Ayumi's temperature starts to go up, so Yu may to have a bath. He tucks her in afterward and assures her that she will be fine by the next morning. The next day Yu wakes up to see that Ayumi has not gotten any better. He urges Ayumi to rest very well and he would report her absence to the school. Upon getting to school, the collaborator enters the office and points to the map. He shows them the location of the next target and reveals that the target's power is collapse. Now says the power might be to make things fall apart. It seems the power is meant for destruction. They examine the map and realize that the target is at the school's apartment. It is usual for someone to be at the apartment at the time of the day. It is evident that none of the parents can have power because it only manifests during puberty. It's possible the target is sick at the moment. It immediately dawns on you that the target might be his sister. Yu tells the team that his sister is sick and Now says it is highly possible she is developing her powers, because it is very likely among siblings. They need to go and check on Ayumi and see if. Get ready for more interesting video. Our channel provides for every latest and high-rated anime. If you want to watch more videos, subscribe our channel along with like and share it. Help us to increase will.